In my process of building my real estate portfolio, there have been 5 skills that have drastically increased my ability to make more money. And whether you're applying those to your real estate journey, your online business, or getting a promotion at work, if you lock in for just the first 90 days of 2024 and hone these skills, you'll be off to a better start than you can even imagine. The first one of these high income skills is the ability to zoom out and have a bird's eye view of whatever process it is that you're trying to achieve. I recently posted a coaching call on my podcast channel with Chenel. Now, she's a new real estate investor who's putting all of her focus into analyzing deals, which is good, but she struggles with knowing what's expected to do after that. From actually making the offer, getting it under contract, signing paperwork, to working with the title companies and the buyers. If you're trying to achieve something, but you don't have at least an idea of what the pieces of the process are that make up the whole, you're going to feel uncomfortable and you're going to struggle with having the confidence to make a plan of action. And when you do start, you're oftentimes going to have to stop again and again so that you can figure out each step as you go. But if you have an overview of the process and you can kind of take that bird's eye view, you're going to feel more confident about knowing what you need to accomplish. So to help Chenel and other people struggling in their real estate journey, I created this 10-step wholesaling business plan that goes over the entire process, including the what, the why, and the how for each step. So for all of you real estate investors, there's a link to download that business plan for free in the description. And whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, take a moment, zoom out, and see if you can just explain the process from start to finish well enough that you feel confident moving on to the next high income skill, which is having a bias towards action. I recently started working with a new YouTuber who's about to launch his channel, making content about how he bought an assisted living facility and then used the income from owning both the property and running the business to live full time and travel in his decked out van all across the country. I think it's pretty freaking cool. But as we were talking, he told me that the reason he booked the call with me was because he was disappointed. He told me that he'd first had the idea to share his journey on YouTube last December, and here it is, December, once again, and he hadn't posted a single video in an entire year. And that's the most common thing that stops people from achieving. It's not actually that we fail, it's just that we don't take action. So in order to have that bias towards action, put a number behind it. You'll see in my old videos that I would write down each week how many properties I had evaluated, how many I put offers on, how many I put under contract, and how many I closed. And even now, I still have most of my most important goals on a whiteboard where I can see them every day and actually go up and update the numbers each week. Now, you want to make sure these are numbers that are in your control. I don't track things like subscribers because I can't actually control if you guys decide to hit the subscribe button or not, although it would be great if you did. I would appreciate it, but it's out of my control. The type of number that I would track is something like videos that I put out, or even hours spent working on a video, because I know that if I put out quality videos, that's within my control, then the metrics like subscribers and views will all come later down the road. That's why when I started this channel, I decided I would make 100 YouTube videos and 100 real estate offers before I quit either one. And being able to go up and track those things each week helped me to know that I was actually trying to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. That gave me confidence. Now, there were still times where I got stuck and when I was feeling unsure. And the skill you need to have in those moments is just to remember that it's better to have a bias towards action and do something rather than being biased towards freezing in fear like a deer in headlights. It doesn't matter which side of the street the deer runs to when the car is coming. It just matters that they freaking move. You will make mistakes on your path towards your goals. It just matters that you move. Be biased towards action. Track the numbers that are within your control and correct course and make improvements as you go. And once you're moving, be authentic and develop the third high income skill, which is what I call confident humility. As you get going, you're going to run into roadblocks that you don't know how to manage. On that podcast episode with Chenel, we realized that she needed to calculate a rehab budget for a property that not only needed an addition of an extra bedroom and a bathroom, but she also didn't have any interior pictures to figure out what the current state of the property was. And so given those two things, she just didn't know how to calculate the rehab budget. And because of that, she just guessed and she said that amount confidently, which is okay. But the moment she sends that deal to an experienced investor, they're going to realize that she pulled that number out of thin air. And that experience could ruin her reputation with that particular buyer. Instead, be confident about the things that you've researched and taken action on, and be humble about the things you don't know yet. We walked her through how she could build a rehab budget using one of my rehab calculators that already has pricing built into it, and how how she could present that deal to the buyer in a confidently humble way by saying something like, hey, here's what I've researched, and I'm really confident in the ARV on this property. Here are my comps to prove that. But on the rehab budget, that's a bit outside of my experience. Although I gave it a shot, here's what I've come up with. Please feel free to double check it and develop your own estimates. Don't pretend to know more than you do. People can always tell when someone's faking the funk. But also don't shrivel up, be embarrassed, and run away when there's something you don't know. Be confident and humble. That'll build you trust. And most people will help you, and you'll continue to learn along the way. Once you're taking action, building those relationships, the next high income skill is to generate and nurture leads. If you're interested in real estate, you need to learn how to generate leads for properties that you want to buy. I oftentimes use PROPSTREAM to pull lists of properties that are either owned by tired landlords or that have city fines for being too distressed. Then I pay a couple of cents per phone number to call the owner and see if they're interested in selling. You can also send out something like direct mail with a company like Ballpoint Marketing, or you can go on Zillow or Redfin and search for leads that way. There's a lot of different ways to market to leads, many of which are included in that wholesaler business plan that I will link below. If you're in business, you can generate leads through content creation here on YouTube or on TikTok. We'll talk more about that next. Or you can send cold emails or make connections with your ideal clients on LinkedIn. Regardless, you have to learn how to find the so-called watering holes where your ideal leads are going to gather. And then once you find them, you've got to nurture them. There's an old business saying that's something like there's millions in the follow-up. I know that's probably not how it goes, but the idea is still true. Most people reach out to a real estate lead one time and never follow up with them again. Or they have someone who's slightly interested in their business, but they're not ready to buy yet. And then months go by, that person forgets about you and buys from somebody else. Most people need around 7 touch points before they trust you enough to work with you, pull out their credit card, and give you some money, or sell you their house. So don't just give up after you've talked to somebody 1 or 2 times. After this, the next high income skill that might actually have the most impact for you in 2024 is content creation. Obviously, I'm biased, but I've seen what YouTube has done for me and my business, and creating content puts all of the other high income skills on steroids. It helps you take action and be accountable to an audience of people that are going on a journey with you. It helps you develop confidence in what you're speaking about. And it not only helps you find leads, but most importantly, it helps leads find you. In this video, I break down the numbers behind one of my very first deals that I renovated. And I got the private loan of $90,000 that I needed to do that renovation from a viewer on my YouTube channel who DM'd me and said they wanted to work together. They could see that I was being as authentic as possible about my journey, and they built trust by watching hundreds of hours of my content, and that was enough for them to loan me $90,000. So if you're not sharing your journey on social media in some way, everybody doesn't have to do it in the same way, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, or even just writing an email newsletter. But if you're not sharing in some way, you're missing out on a huge opportunity to skyrocket your income in 2024. So for all of you interested in content creation, I'll put a link to a free quick start course that'll help you start your content creation journey. And in the meantime, YouTube thinks that you'll love watching this video next. Please don't forget to hit the like button before you go. Thanks for watching.